Hey guys, I am in my attic and I am about to teach you how to make your own t-shirts. Now yes, there's a ton of people on here that are like, oh, I make my own t-shirts all the time because I own a $200 Cricut, which guess what, bitches? Even after all I've done, being in People magazine and shit, bitch, I ain't got $200 to spend on a piece of craft shit. So I'm gonna teach you how to do it for $10, bitches. You will need a thing of Reynolds freezer paper. Freezer paper. Not butcher paper, not regular paper, freezer paper. It has to say that. I got this whole box for $4 at Target. You will need a t-shirt of some kind. I like to go to the men's section in Target and buy these when they're on sale. This whole pack was $4. I got a whole bunch of t-shirts too. I always buy big ones. That was like $5 for all of them. So now that you have your freezer paper and your t-shirts, the next thing that you're going to need is this kind of paint. Go to the store and get this kind. I go to Michael's. I use a 40% off coupon. I buy a brand new one for like $9.99. Here's one. This is what they look like on the shelf. I buy a brand new one for like $9.99. I use a 40% off coupon, so I get it for like $4.50. And I have been known to go through the line and use a coupon and get one, and then go back and shop and buy more, and then go through the line and use another one, a coupon. And they don't mind as long as you're patient and you spend more money every time. These are my favorites because you can get a lot of them. Is that a BB-8 in there? Look at that little BB-8, y'all. This was from when we went to Disney. This was one of the patterns that I used. And I'm about to show you how to do this part. That's what comes next. You will also need a cardboard box of decent size. You will need newspaper or something to lay down so you don't spray paint everything. Do it inside. And you will need an iron. Okay, y'all. Now this is where I'm revealing like my extreme level of cheapness. Because when it comes to the patterns, if you have a printer and you can just print that shit off, do that. But printer ink is fucking expensive. And I do these, like, I have so many patterns, y'all. I would have gone through a whole thing of ink. So what I do is I find the image that I want. I right click it in my computer. I save it into my pictures. I pull it up, make it as big or as small as I want. And if this is the image on the computer, then I'm literally going to tape this piece of paper with Scotch tape to the computer screen and trace it directly off of there. That's the best way to do it. And then once you've done that, once you've got this, then you get your freezer paper, and you put your freezer paper shiny side down on top of your image, and then you just trace it onto the freezer paper. And then you cut out the parts that you're going to want to paint. Just like that. Not hard. Okay, so when we went to Disney, I made a bunch of shirts for Disney. And one of the things that I wanted was a Memberberry shirt that would say Member Disney. Oh, I member. But it wasn't a thing. They don't make, like, South Park doesn't make merchandise like that. So I made my own. So this is the pattern. Member Disney. Member Disney. Oh, I member. So there's the Memberberry. There's the Memberberry. And that's what the shirt ends up looking like at the end of it. And this is, God, that was 3 years ago. So they hold up. I mean, they hold up pretty well. And the shirt that I'm actually going to make tonight is a shirt for Cool Cat. And if you know who Cool Cat is, you're a cool cat. If you don't, dude, do not stop what you're doing right now. Go to YouTube and look up Cool Cat. It is Eric Estrada and Vivica A. Fox from the late 80s trying to teach us all about bullying and anti-gun violence and drugs. It's basically McGruff the Crime Dog, but a cat. And my kid, Hannah Banana, is fucking obsessed with it. So I'm going to make her a Cool Cat shirt. Okay, the next thing you want to do is get your decent sized box and cut all of these flaps off the sides. Trust me, there's a reason. Just do that now. Okay, so once you have cut all the boxes sides off, save those. You will need them later. Turn the box over. So now you have a table. You're going to need that when you use your razor later. So then you take the design, whatever your design is, you put it right there. Put your freezer paper right on top of it, like so. And then you trace it. Just that simple. I like to use a Sharpie fine line because I have a million of these for bullet journaling, but you can use whatever fucking pen you want. It really makes no difference. Okay, so now that I have my pattern traced onto my freezer paper, what you want to do is you can cut it out with a pair of scissors if you're really careful and you know what you're doing, but I just get a straight razor and I cut it out. That's why you need the box. So that's what you do next. Okay, so when you cut it all out, it should look something like this. Be sure to save the middles of the O's and the middles of the A's and any B's and R's. Okay, guys. So once you've got your pattern cut out, then you put your shirt. See, I've got my shirt on top of my box. Then you put your pattern down, and then you get your iron. And yes, my iron is like legit vintage. I love vintage things. Don't come at me for my iron. It actually gets really hot, hotter than any iron you could buy, so suck it. But it doesn't have to be super hot. I just love that iron. I like old things. So what you want to do is you want to make sure, especially if you have anything with negative space, you want to all lay it down shiny side down. You want to turn your iron on medium heat, hot. You might, if it's a crappy iron, hot. This one's medium because it gets so hot. And then you want to very slowly iron. Very slowly, because you don't want to move these and you don't want to rip it with the iron. Very slowly. Your iron is hot enough when it sizzles. Then you just very slowly want to go all the way around all of the edges. We'll see how that A just moved. I usually do this with two hands. So what you want to do is, like I said, see how that A moved? See, I put him back in place, and I'm just going to set the iron down until the glue. Now, the thing about freezer paper is it has a wax coating on it on the bottom. So that's what's happening right now. The wax coating is melting onto the shirt. Oh, see how I just got caught underneath there? That's what I mean, bitches. You got to go slow and take your time. Make sure all of these edges are very, very, very sealed. Otherwise, the paint, when you go to paint it, it'll drip. It'll fade, and you definitely don't want that. So with the O's, you just lay it down on top for just a second. Lay it down on top for just a second. You can't do this too long. I mean, don't burn it, but do it long enough where when you pick up the freezer paper, there aren't any holes. All right, once you get past making sure that you've gotten all the edges down, you just want to kind of real slowly. Okay, and let's prevent fires. So when you're done, unplug it. Don't turn it off, just unplug it. And then while there's still heat in it, just use the rest of the heat, because you don't want to leave a hot iron somewhere where it can catch on fire. So, especially in my attic, burn my whole house down. So when I'm doing this, I always do this until the iron is cold. And again, we're back to this motion. And I will just do this for the next, I don't know, 3 to 5 minutes until my iron gets cold. Just to make sure that it's got a good seal. If you mess it up, you got to do it all over again. You got to redraw and retrace and recut and buy another shirt. So you want to do it right the first time. Okay, when it's done, when you pull up and see it's ironed all the way up to there, ironed all the way to here, ironed all the way down to here. So I'm good. I have a good seal and I trust this. Okay guys, so the next thing you want to do is take the cardboard cutouts and place them around the design like this. And I laid some stuff down on me as well. And then I have a big poster board up just for cast off because we have a bunch of Christmas presents over here and I don't want any spray paint on them. And then you want to take your spray paint, shake the fuck out of it. Like, shake it like a Polaroid picture, bitch. Although actually, you're not supposed to really shake Polaroid pictures, but you get the idea. And then you want to hold it about 16 inches above where you're going to spray paint. And then you want to slowly go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And then you want to go up and down, up and down, up and down if you didn't get coverage on the first time. And then this is the trick. It took me 10 shirts to learn this shit, bitches. I'm about to tell you a pro tip right here. Take a big old wad of paper towels, like 5 paper towels all wadded up, as soon as you're done painting. And then go right after it, go boom, 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 and get all that excess paint off of there. Otherwise, it'll bleed. Okay, so once you've shaken it, then like I said, you want to start about this far. I'm about 16 inches away, and you just want to go real slow, but fast. And then you want to change directions. And then there's a little bit of lightness here, so I'm just going to go real quick. Done. That's good. And then you come in immediately and wipe up all of this excess. As much as you can get on this paper towel, the better. And you see all that cast off? That's why you gotta have these guys. Now hold on. I mean it. Like, really use force and get in there and make sure that you have gotten all of the excess paint, because it will bleed if there's extra. And even with all of those precautions, I still got a little bit of blue on the sleeve. But I think my badin is going to love me. And here's the thing. Even if it's not perfect, the person you love it for. Okay, so now, at this point, as you can see, everything's good. The fabric is blue. But even with all the precautions that I took, there's still a tiny little bit of blue mist on that And I got some silver paint on there. There's a tiny bit of blue a long time ago. Cast off. It's a bitch, yo. Tiny bit of blue. But here's the thing. My banana is going to love this shirt so much because she can't buy it. Only way she can have it is if I made it for her. And it's not going to be perfect. But that's okay because I'm not perfect. So whoever you make the shirt for, even if it's just yourself, it's okay if they're not perfect. That makes it unique. And if you want a shirt that's absolutely perfect, buy one made by a fucking robot, not one made with love by a person. Now I'm going to crush you because you have to leave that alone for 12 fucking hours. And I know y'all are like, what does it look like? So I'm not going to do that to you. I'm going to go get my hair dryer and I'm going to fucking dry this. But it'll take at least a half an hour to show you the rest. While I'm blowing this dry, look, something is going on with my comments. TikTok is automatically turning all of the comments on my videos off. I don't know what's going on, but I'm trying to figure it out. All right, guys, here's a finished product. That's the Swedish chef back there, my husband. Here's the finished product. And it did, as you can see, it did... It did, they're taking our jobs. It did bleed a little bit right here, but again, that's okay, and she's not even going to care. Now, as for the blue that got up here, I went over it with white, and then if you can see, I just did like little things of just little lines of white here and there, so it all fits in. And honestly, guys, I think she's going to love it, even though it's not perfect. But here you go. And this shirt probably cost about $1.50, but there's how you do it, everybody. I hope you enjoyed it. Guys, real quick, here's a quick story from my childhood. So one of the reasons why I like to make t-shirts the way that I do is because when I was a kid growing up, we never had any money for craft stuff. Like, we legit didn't have crayons. We would take them from restaurants, but then you only have red and blue and yellow and green, and that's it. So one of the things that I would love to do is, you know those ads for porcelain dolls that used to be in magazines back in the day? I would take those, and I would rip them out, and I would glue them onto cardboard, and then I would make them and cut them out. And then I would have little paper dolls. And everywhere I went, I was always looking for papers, like wallpapers or advertisements or magazines or anything that had like a pattern to it. And I would take it and I would hide it. And then I would come home and I would cut it up and I would make like a little paper skirt out of it or like a little accessory. So I've always had this like hustler mentality about scavenging crafts. And that's why I like it. This one is special. Open it like this. This one is special. Someone worked very, very hard on it for you.
Oh my god, it's a cool cat shirt.
It's a cool cat shirt. Do you like it?
Yes,
you are cool, man.
Do you like it?
You are a cool kid. There's no question about that.
Do you like it though?
Yeah.
I'm glad. I worked hard on that one. I'm really glad you like it, Feisty. It's cool cat.
It's cool cat.
Peppa, what are you doing in my Christmas? Peppa? Peppa?
Come all down here. It has a bread box.
Alaska, guess what I got? It's like you have on your hands. Like, I thought that was JoJo's Seymour.
Alright, so can I see my stocking over there?